back to my channel. I'm Tara with Simply Made Eats, and it is officially football season. I'm super excited. I like football, but I'm more like the snacks. So today we're gonna pretend that we've got some friends coming over and we have an hour to prep this food. So we're gonna make some nachos with homemade pico de gallo. We're gonna do some turkey burger sliders. These are so good. And we're gonna make buffalo chicken quesadillas. We're gonna create a really nice spread in an hour. So let's get started. So I'm getting started with our nachos. These are just a really good thing to have in case anybody gets here early. We're gonna have nachos ready so they can snack on them and they're not like starving. These are gonna be vegetarian nachos, but you can definitely add ground beef or shredded chicken, whatever you wanna add into it. I always like to do like one vegetarian dish. My dad's vegetarian, so I like to have at least one thing that doesn't have meat in it so that he can snack on it. Okay, so for a pico de gallo, I'm just doing like a half of what I usually make. I like to make extras usually because that way I've got some extra in the fridge, but today we're just gonna do a half version. I've got some Roma tomatoes. In the description, I'll make sure I put a link to this full recipe. We've also got some red onion, a clove of garlic, about a half of a jalapeno, and we've got about a half cup of cilantro. Next, we're gonna juice in the juice from one lime. Whoops. This thing is going everywhere. And we're gonna sprinkle in some salt. We're gonna give this a nice stir and we are gonna stick this in the fridge. That way when our nachos are ready, we can dollop this on top. You can also serve some on the side. So yummy. Okay, so next we're gonna shred our cheese. We've got a block of Monterey Jack Cheese, and then we have a block of cheddar. This was from Costco, so it's like one of those giant ones, but it's about a block. And we are gonna go ahead and shred all of this cheese, and then we're gonna save half of it for our buffalo chicken quesadillas. Another really good way to save time is you can just get like the Mexican shredded cheese already in the bag. I would just grab like 2 bags. You can use one for the quesadillas and one for the nachos. Or you can go 3 and put a bunch of cheese in the nachos because I really like cheesy nachos. Okay, so we're all done shredding our cheese. I'm just gonna take about half of this and stick it in a bowl for our quesadillas and just sit it aside. All right, let's make our nachos. We are ready to get our nachos started. I've lined the tray with tin foil. This just helps with the mess. That way you can just like toss it at the end. I've got the oven preheated to 350 and I'm just gonna load my nachos on here. And then we're gonna add on our cheese. This is our Monterey Jack Cheese. Some of them did not shred that great, but who cares? Because cheese is delicious and I don't think anybody's gonna mind a chunk of cheese on their nachos. At least I won't. I love it. All right. And then we've got our cheddar. This is like an English white cheddar that I'm using, but you can use any kind of cheese. Any cheese that you like, you can use it. Okay, that looks awesome. And then what I'm gonna do is just add some jalapenos onto like half of it. Some people like spicy, some people don't. These have some seeds in them, so they're gonna be nice and hot. You could also do banana peppers because they're nice and mild usually. Okay, then we're gonna add some black olives. And some chopped up green onion. You can have whatever you like on this. If you make beef, you can top that on right now too. And then once these bake, we're gonna add on some sour cream, avocado, pico. It'll be really, really yummy. I'm also just gonna do a little bit of hot sauce. This is Cholula, so it's not like super hot. It's like one of my favorite hot sauces. It's just really flavorful. All right, and then we're gonna bake these until they get nice and melted cheese on them. Don't overcook them. We don't want like browning of the cheese, just really nice and melted. While our nachos are cooking, we're gonna go ahead and get our turkey sliders going. We're gonna use King's Hawaiian rolls. These are so good and super easy. We're also gonna use our air fryer to really get these turkey burgers done fast. You can definitely use the oven too, but we're gonna use the air fryer today. Okay, so we're gonna start by just cracking an egg into our bowl. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Then I'm gonna add in our ground turkey. Next, I'm gonna add in some chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, some salt and pepper, and a half a cup of panko. You can also use Italian breadcrumbs for this. And we are just gonna mix it all together. I find it the easiest to do it with my hands. And with turkey, for some reason, it likes it the best if you don't have to overhandle it. So I like to just like mix this up really nice and easy. The panko definitely helps holding it together. If you don't have panko or breadcrumbs, you're gonna struggle, so make sure you have that. It's a little easier if you don't have those things with ground beef, but with ground turkey and ground chicken, you really have to have some breadcrumbs in there. Okay, that looks perfect. We're gonna make it like a meatball and then just flatten it out like this. Okay, so these are all ready for the air fryer. I've got a little bit of leftover meat, which you can use for something else, or you can just make some extra burgers after, but I really just want 12 of these so that I can have them for the Hawaiian rolls because there's 12 rolls. Okay, so once our air fryer is preheated, we're gonna go ahead and add these. Okay, so we've got all of them in there. We're gonna go ahead and cook these for 10 minutes, flipping them halfway through, and then we're gonna check and make sure that the internal temperature is 165. All right, let's finish up these nachos. I've got some Pico all over it. I love Pico, and I think most people do. Just try not to get a lot of the liquid. You wanna just leave that in there, all that lime juice is really just for marinating. But just add this all over it. And you could always serve a little bit on the side too if anybody wants some extra. Okay, now we're gonna add my favorite part, which is the sour cream. I like to just drop little dollops all over it. Also, if you want to be extra, check out my avocado crema recipe because that would be really good drizzled all over top of this. This is really like the perfect appetizer. It's so easy, and it's a great one to have ready when people actually come over because they're gonna snack on this and they're gonna get full, and then we can finish the rest of our recipes. Especially if there's like 1 or 2 people that came over, give them the nachos, they'll be happy. All right, these look great. I almost forgot the best part, our avocado. So I'm just gonna cut this down the center. If it's nice and ripe, that middle piece should just pop right out, like that. And then I like to just cut like a grid into it. Make sure you get all the way down to the skin, but don't cut your hand. And then when you scoop this out, it just plops right out. I kind of like to have it like a certain way, but you can kind of just toss it all over. A little bit everywhere. Everybody likes avocado, right? It's the best. You could also just do slices if you want instead of like the diced up like how I did. Really just up to you. You can go back and just kind of spread them out. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Next, we're gonna start with our buffalo chicken quesadillas. These are so good and they're ready in like 15 minutes. Hopefully you guys aren't tired yet and you don't need a nap. I know this is like a lot of cooking to do at one time, but I promise it's really not that bad. Just giving the rotisserie chicken a nice chop. You can shred this however you like to have it. I just think it's easier just to go ahead and give it a really nice chop. And I did remove the skin off of this. It's just chicken breast and, you know, the thigh meat, drumsticks, all that good stuff. Okay, so once I have this all chopped, I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken into a bowl. Okay, so our turkey burgers are all done. They got nice and crispy, almost like chicken nuggets. So I'm really excited. We're gonna set these aside. To finish up our chicken quesadilla filling, we're gonna add in our green onions, about a teaspoon of garlic powder, just a little salt and pepper. And then we're gonna add in a 1/3 cup of Frank's Red Hot buffalo wing sauce. This is different than hot sauce. It's the buffalo wing sauce and it's so good. It's really thick and creamy. It is delicious. And we are just gonna give this a quick stir. And our filling's already ready. How easy was that? Okay, so get ready for like the easiest sliders ever. We're gonna pull this whole thing out like this. And we're gonna take a knife and just slice right through the middle. I do beach sandwiches like this all the time. It's so easy. I'm gonna slice it like that, and then this whole top is gonna come off. Just like that. Okay, so you wanna preheat your oven to 350, and then we're just gonna take some basil and just spread it all over this top layer. Basil, I meant pesto. Spread your pesto all over the top layer. Just like that. And you can use store-bought pesto here, or you can make my homemade pesto. This was actually store-bought because I was trying to save time, but my homemade pesto is so good. Definitely recommend trying it. Okay, next we're gonna add our turkey burgers on. And you should have like one for each roll. Crispy little turkey burgers. And then we are gonna add about 1 roasted red pepper on every piece. Sometimes I like to do 2. I really love roasted red peppers. And then we're gonna add our cheese. Now all we're gonna do is just plop this back on top. Put this on a cookie sheet. Giant spatula that I use sometimes for things like this. Kind of helps out. You can also like make them directly on this, which would probably be really helpful too. Okay, so that's gonna go on there. You can fix anything that you need to. I lost the pepper out of that one. And we're just gonna bake these for about 5 minutes just to warm them up. You could always brush the top with some garlic butter. That would be so good. Okay, so these just came out of the oven. They're hot and toasty and delicious. You can let them sit for a couple minutes, but you can also just go ahead and cut them up. We're gonna use that same serrated knife that we used before. Just be careful not to scratch your cookie sheet. I love the pesto flavor in this. I think it's a good switch up from just like regular burgers, which you could definitely do that too. I like to sometimes just do American cheese, and then on the top I'll do like a Dijon mustard and mayo mixture. It's so good. Alright, let's pull one of these out. Oh my gosh, look how good that looks. Perfect little slider. Nice melted cheese. Pesto. Oh my gosh, yum. I have to eat one. Oh my gosh, these are so good. We are on our last recipe. Hooray, our buffalo chicken quesadillas. They're so easy, so don't even worry about it. We've got our cheese. We are gonna just sprinkle a little bit on a flour tortilla. These are pretty large tortillas, but you can use whatever size you want. And then we are just gonna layer some chicken, some of our chicken filling on the top. Just like that. You can add some more cheese, but I'm just gonna seal this on top just like that. And then we're gonna get this going. We're gonna make a bunch of tortillas just to go ahead and get them ready so we don't have to build them as we're cooking them. Okay, I just made about 4 quesadillas. We're gonna go ahead and cook them on the skillet over medium heat. Okay, so we've got our skillet on medium heat. We're gonna add in a nice slab of butter. When in doubt, you need more butter with this recipe. Just trust it. It's gonna be fine. It's football food. You can eat junk food on football day. It's a Sunday, it's cheat day. Okay, so once it's nice and sizzly, we're gonna add in our quesadilla. I like to add a little lid on it for just a minute just to really melt that cheese. And this is just gonna cook for a couple minutes on each side. Okay, so after a couple minutes, we're gonna flip it. Just be careful none of that chicken falls out. Ooh, yum. These look so good. Okay, so once it's done, I'm just gonna transfer it to a cookie sheet and start my next one. Okay, these are all done, so we're just gonna cut them into triangles and put them on a serving platter. I like to serve mine with some sour cream on the side, and then you can definitely do some extra buffalo sauce if you want. These are so creamy and delicious. That's it, you guys. We are totally ready for game day and maybe ready for a nap too. Let me know if you decide to make this. If it's too overwhelming, just pick 1 or 2 recipes. It's super simple. Everybody will be full still. This is a ton of food, but really great appetizers to have at a football party. So let me know in the comments if you guys decide to make any of them, and be sure to subscribe so we can keep cooking together. I love sharing easy recipes to share with you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!